Hey, what's up, everyone? Just as we started, my hand goes across the screen. I was just turning the comments on. It's class 195. 195? How did that happen? I know I say that a lot, but yeah, the weeks keep passing by, people. So if you made it this far, congratulations. Thank you for coming along. You might have been joining my chair yoga classes. I did one of those this morning at 11 a.m. I enjoyed that. We did some nice poses. We did things like, what did we do? We definitely did child's pose. And we did chair pose, which is nice. And like some of these poses which we do in chair yoga, we obviously do down here on our mats as well. And I love the way that we can adapt them to chair yoga. But if you join me now, you're probably on your mat. Remember, you can do a lot of this stuff in a chair if you wanted to do that. And I won't kind of instruct in a chair yoga kind of way. But I'll reference it now and again. So especially the start where we're just going to move quite gently. And then also we will, what was I going to say? We'll start quite gently. My brain's not switched on. We'll start quite gently, but then we'll move a little bit more. So all that stuff at the start, yeah, sure, you can do all that. Back up against a wall. You can, sit in a chair. Yeah, whatever feels good for you. If you have a look at the comments part, there will probably be appearing some information about a survey. Look at that. I think it's just popped up. Has it? Let's have a look. It's not quite there yet, but it will pop up. Remember, you can follow the Virtual Village Hall, Royal Voluntary Service at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and also YouTube as well. So all of the social media platforms, check them out, give them a follow, and then you can see that there. Look, it says, please take our 5-minute survey and tell us what you think. And it's a Survey Monkey survey. They're a trusted company, so don't worry about clicking on that link. And it's just a survey to get your ideas about classes and about content. And this is amazing, right? Because what the Virtual Village Hall are asking for is for you guys out there to shape the content that we provide. And that's really important, isn't it? Because some people might sit in their ivory towers. Not that people do sit in their ivory towers at the Virtual Village Hall, because they probably don't have ivory towers, because it's a fantastic organization. But it's about what you guys want and the content that you want and the comments that you give out. So please, it's a 5-minute survey. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say we need more yoga. No, I'm not really. You've already got me twice a week. Make sure you're hydrated. Cup of tea is nice. Here's the magic teapot. Remember, chai tea or water. Make sure you're warm enough. It's nice today, right? The sun is shining in the East Midlands, and it's a little bit warmer. My balcony door's open just here. Woohoo! It's spring, right? I said that 2 weeks ago, and then it got really cold again, but I'm more hopeful this time. I'm going back there. If you want to go back there, if there is a back there for you, do it. Maybe you're comfortable where you are. I'm going to take my teapot with me. I also have a naked bar. It's not like I always eat this healthily, by the way, but I'm trying to be a yoga teacher. All right. So chai and a naked bar. Black chai, no honey. What happened to me? Anyway, right. Let's go back here. If you want to sit on something, feel free. I'm going to plonk my bottom directly on the floor. I'm probably going to put my tea on my mat. Don't want to stain my carpet. And maybe you come cross-legged. Remember, this bit you can do in a chair where all you back up against the wall. I'm going to sit cross-legged. This is called Sukhasana. Sukhasana. So this is, cross-legged seated position. Just checking on the time, making sure that I haven't wasted too much time with my idle chit-chat. Draw some length into your spine. Maybe it's a nice way to do it by just pressing your fingertips down into the earth, if you're doing that with me. And then you feel the arms activate a little bit here, right? There's nothing too complicated about this yoga. But as you do this, really feel into the body. What happens when you press your fingertips down into your mat? So sometimes the subtle bits are the most rewarding. Sometimes I close my eyes. How does that feel? So now I've got a little bit more length in my spine. My shoulders are engaged but relaxed. And then I think about my head and it's balanced perfectly on top of my neck. Perfectly. That feels good anyway. Maybe at that point, keep the length in your spine, keep your shoulders relaxed. Now you can bring the hands onto your knees. Maybe the eyes are closed. There's lots of maybes, but you know, it's your practice. So work out what you need. We'll spend another, I don't know, few rounds of breath. Let's not even time it. Notice what you're noticing. Check in Thursday afternoon, 2:30. How you doing? Don't judge it, just notice. Maybe you notice the breath here for the first time. Could be the first time today that you really notice the breath in your body. And then when you're ready, we'll just begin to move just a tiny bit. Let's bring our hands above our head. So on an inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Maybe clasp the hands, push the palms up towards the ceiling, and then just have a little intuitive move side to side. I think I'm going to sneeze, so excuse me while I sneeze. There it is. Okay. Move a little side to side. And then inhale, come back to center, and then we'll do a seated cat-cow. As you exhale, push the palms forward, round your spine, tuck the navel back towards the spine itself. So you really round into the upper spine and the shoulders. Inhale as you come back up. So this is where you lengthen, shoulders nice and relaxed, sit bones pressed down, maybe a little side to side. And then when you're ready, exhale and push the palms forward. A few more times like that. Inhaling up, maybe a little side to side. Exhaling as you round. 2 more, inhale up, maybe a little side to side, and then exhale round. We've made that a thing now, right? Inhale, come up, side to side a little, and exhale to round. And then this final time, inhale, come all the way up. As you exhale, twist over towards the right. So you bring your left hand on your right knee, your right hand behind, inhale to find length, and exhale into your twist. And feel free, really get, curious about these shapes. So, don't feel like you always have to do it the same way or, it has to be a certain thing. Have a little wriggle around and be curious. What does that feel like? Where do I feel it? What do I need to do to relax? What do I need to do to engage? Where do I need to send the breath? Do I want to keep moving a little? Maybe. Take one more round of breath. Full exhale. Now when you're ready, inhale, bring the arms all the way up. As you exhale, twist to the left. It's nice, right? Right hand on the left knee, left hand behind. Lengthen the spine, little wriggles. So try not to lean back too much. Try not to lean forward too much. This certainly isn't a passive pose, right? All these poses, there is a little bit of, intention in them is a nice way to describe them. So you're not kind of just like, oh, yeah, whatever. Bring some intention into each pose. Take one more round of breath. And then exhale. Not that I think that you would ever come and do yoga with me and go, oh, yeah, whatever. You might do. All right, grab a little drink if you need one. And we're going to come to stand. Already? Yes, let's stand. We're going to do a few things here. So first of all, feet about hip width apart. And then what I'd like you to do is just open the body from side to side. So we do this one quite a lot. So you might just kind of like walk the feet out just a little bit. If you join in us here, if you remain seated, then you can just bring the feet up and down if you can do that. If you up stood, maybe give the shoulders a little shrug, maybe give the arms a little shake out, maybe close the eyes, whatever feels good. Then reroute your feet down and then bring your right hand on your heart. Inhale, left arm to the left, exhale, right arm to the right. So make sure you've got enough room. Adjust yourself if you don't. Inhale left, exhale right. Nice simple movement. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We're not going to be here for too long. We're just kind of shaking the energy up just a little bit. Inhaling left, exhaling right. Now, if you want to, you can move the feet at the same time. And you're probably like, what are you talking about? So as you inhale to the left, you lift your right foot. See that? As you exhale to the right, you lift your left foot. So there's a little twist through the hips. can feel nice sometimes, and you don't have to be fast. It's kind of maybe a slow twist. Inhaling and then exhaling to the right. Inhaling left, exhale to the right, and just kind of swap the legs out. Come onto the toes. I guess you get a little bit more twist through the hips, and I guess there's a little balance going on, and that's a really important thing, right? Balancing, and we've done some work on balancing before, and we haven't probably done it enough recently. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about balancing in a moment. We'll probably do a couple of balancing postures. A couple more times either side. Inhale, come back to center, bring the palms face forward, and then just take a full exhale. And then find yourself in mountain pose. This is Tadasana, and just breathe it out. Think about the posture you found when you were sat. And now it's similar, right? Shoulders stacked above the hips. Head balances perfectly on top of your neck and spine is in line. And you just breathe in this beautiful vessel. Think about your body as this vessel and breathe into it. Give your fingers a little wriggle out if your eyes are closed. Come with your eyes open. And then you're going to come and sit down again. I'm going to come a little bit closer to the camera. Just because I want to. All right, let's do a little bit of work through the neck. So sit nice and tall. Find somewhere comfortable for the hands. Think about your posture again, and then drop your chin down towards your sternum, and then just rock your chin a little side to side. So you just kind of bring this little movement in, rocking side to side. Keep breathing deeply. Give yourself loads of room to breathe into here. And then if you wanted to, as normal, maybe you just circle your head out. Be gentle though. Notice any areas of residual tension. Residual is a good word, isn't it? Inhaling up, exhale down. You know, those areas that feel kind of like the tightness that's been there a long time. You don't notice it until you begin to move into it. And then come back the other way. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And then eventually inhale, bring your head all the way back up so it balances on top of your neck, and then take an exhale. Beautiful, really nice. If your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. All right, everyone, how are you doing? So balancing, we'll do at least 2 balances today, maybe 3. And I've been reading this really lovely book by a runner called Richard Asquith. Richard Asquith is in his early 60s, I think. And I know about him because he ran this race, well, not a race, it's an event called the Bob Graham Round, which some of you will know. It's 24 hours in the Lake District, which my brother's done. And you do it under 24 hours. And he had a book called Feet in the Clouds, which I read years ago. And I've been reading his new book, well, relatively new book. And as I say, it's called Race Against Time. And it's about exercise, mainly running in mid to later life. And one thing that he's saying in there, which is the theme that keeps coming back, is that balance is really important. And you would have heard me talk about this before. I did maybe 18 months ago a video of me balancing when I was brushing my teeth. What happened is we lose the ability to balance, right? The motor neurons, the kind of the way that the brain works. And then what generally happens is that is a risk for us as we get older, as some of us will know, right? We lose the ability to balance, we fall more, we break more things. And then the implication is that then our health becomes a lot worse for that because we lose that mobility, I guess, you know? So balancing is really important. And the nice thing about balancing is that you can learn it really quite quickly. And if you don't practice it, you'll probably be not very good at it. So what I would encourage you to do is to bring more balance into your life. Right, that's what yoga people say, don't they? Bring more balance into your life. Absolutely, but also bring some more actual physical motor balance into your life. I think it's really important. So simple things before we won't do some of these things today, but simple things like, they might not be simple at the start. Can you put your shoes on by standing on one leg and bringing, your leg up so you can tie your shoes? That kind of thing. Can you go in the shower, as long as you feel stable? Can you stand on one leg for a moment, or can you do it while brushing your teeth? Can you do this thing where you close your eyes and balance as well? So that's really difficult, but you can learn that quite quickly. And the more you do that, the more the brain is proprioception, right? Where the body is in space. So you will get better and better and more adept at it. And that's going to have a massive impact on your health as you get older. I promise you, I practice this all the time. And I notice when I don't do it, how it kind of dissipates. It kind of disappears over time. And then I'm trying to balance and I'm like, what's wrong with my balance? And I'm like, I've not been practicing. So I bring it into my daily life. And it can be a lot of fun as well, right? As long as you know you're not going to fall too far, it's all good. So let's do a balance on our mats. I'm going to go back there now. Sorry for kind of like butting into the class there and talking about it, but I think balance is really important. So we'll do this one called Sunbird or Bird Dog, which I really like, and we can do it. This is a nice starter, okay? So we come down onto our mats in this all fours position, and you will have, if you've done my classes before, you will have done this with me. Let's just move through a little bit of cat-cow first of all, just because it feels good. We'll do cat-cow and child's pose, and then we'll get into this balance. So cat-cow from all fours. Inhale, drop the belly down, lift your head, lift your heart. Exhale as you round your spine. Inhaling forward, exhale as you round. Keep the hands nice and still, keep the arms nice and long. The movement here comes from the spine. You inhale, you drop your belly down, you lift your head, you lift your heart. You exhale as you round your spine. You really try and separate your shoulders. A couple more times. Inhale, come back to center, and then just fall back into a child's pose. And remember, child's pose, the knees go a little wider. You bring your sit bones back towards your heels. Now, you might not look like me. We all look really different in child's pose. You can bring a blanket under your body or under your knees or under your feet. You can do this and bring your head onto your hands, or if you're a little higher, you can bend into the elbows and make fists and place your head on your fists so you can be here. So work out what you need. Depending on how you're set up today will depend on what your child's pose looks like. So your choice. And then breathe deeply wherever you found yourself. Take some nice deep inhales, full releasing exhales. Maybe your deepest, most nourishing breaths of the day so far. And I know that if I remain a little longer in child's pose, things do begin to relax a little. I kind of sink a little deeper. My hips begin to stretch out, my spine stretches. I feel this slight opening, and it's not always the most comfortable position to be in, but after a few breaths, as long as I'm kind of curious and I'm not obsessing, then it can become quite joyful. Joyful is a strong word, right? All right, when you're ready, bring yourself back to all fours. Been there for a little bit of time, so you might want to just give everything a good stretch out. So I like to stretch the legs back. You've seen me do this a lot. I press into the toes. I kind of rock backwards and forwards. That can feel good. I'll come to the other side. That can feel nice. Stretch through the bottoms of the feet. And then see if you can just sit back onto your heels and stretch your ankles. I'm only doing this really because I want to take a t-shirt off. Because it's getting warm, everybody. Woohoo! All right, so So this is a good place to be as well, right? You sit back onto your heels. When I first started doing yoga, I couldn't even sit like this, right? And some of you might not be able to sit like this because you'll be tight in the tops of the feet and your ankles. I'd run for a very long time without really doing any stretching or any balancing. I just plodded along all the way through my 20s and 30s and 40s. And I decided to do some yoga. All right, come back to all fours. Give the feet a little tap out if you're with me. And then do this with the toes. It can feel quite nice. And then we're going to start this first balance. So bird dog or sunbird. So straight away, it's going to be a balance. Think about your hips. You know, we think about hips. They want to be nice and neutral. Okay, so you're going to stay on all fours. And you're just going to stretch back through your right leg. Okay. So that's kind of the first part. Now that's a balance in itself, right? Because now you've used one of your limbs and it's up in the air. So you'll need to find a degree of balance. So really spread out through the hands and maybe just gaze at one spot. Now, if you feel like you've got your balance, you can look down the right leg and then you want the toes to point down towards the floor. You know, so you really feel this engagement, right? From this right hip all the way down to the sole of the right foot. And then maybe just rock a little backwards and forwards. How does that feel? And then bring that right knee down and then swap it out. So come back to all fours. Knees about hip width apart. It's a good place to start. And then left leg back. Spread out through the fingers. Maybe rock a little backwards and forwards. Maybe look down the left leg and point the toes down towards the floor. Little scratch. Move a little. And think about the hips. You want the hips to be nice and neutral. So you're not kind of like hoiking a hip to one side or the other. Backwards and forwards. You might even close the eyes and notice how that feels. And then exhale, bring everything down. Nice. Do some big hip circles. So your knees are about hip width apart, and then circle your hips out. And then come back the other way. Nice. And then from all fours again, we'll just build this a little bit. I'm just going to tuck my t-shirt in. Okay. Inhale, right leg back. So you might stay here. This is perfect. If you want to join me, you can bring your left arm out. So now you've got the right leg back and the left arm out. So this is certainly more of a balance, right? You might feel a little bit wobbly. That's okay. So you use what we call in yoga a dristi or a gaze point. So you can gaze forward. You can look down to the left fingers, or you can look down to the top edge of your mat. Your choice. So certainly a balance, right? Take one more deep inhale. As you exhale, bring everything down. And then just move a little again, side to side, maybe some circles. You might even bring some cat-cows in, kind of move the spine. And then we'll do that on the other side. So you've got those two options. You can just have the left leg back, maybe look down the left leg, find your engagement, find that neutrality for your hips, and then maybe sweep the right arm forward. This is the second option. Excuse me. And breathe it out. Notice how this feels. Nice. You can look forward. You can look down the right fingers. You can look down to the top of your mat. You might wobble a little. It's all good. You might fall out. Come straight back in. Take one more round of breath. And then exhale. Bring your hands down. Bring your knees down. Move through 3 rounds of cat-cow again. Inhale and exhale as you round your spine. Inhale forward. Exhale as you round. One more time. Inhale as you come forward and exhale as you round. Then fall back into a child's pose again. So second time we've been here. Sit bones back. Oh, I felt that in my ankle. And then bring your head onto your hands or the forehead down onto the floor. And just breathe it out. A few nourishing breaths here. Deep inhales. Full exhales. A couple more like that. Nice deep inhale. Full exhale. And then one more. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. This time we'll walk the hands back towards the knees. Press into the hands. And then come all the way up. Come to sit again. And then from here we'll come to stand. So again, it's a good time to grab a drink. If you want to just come straight up to stand, go for it. I've got a lot of tea left there, haven't I? And then we'll build on these balances. So, put my tea here. Come to stand up. Give the legs a little shake out. Nice work, everyone. So, let's kind of have a look at these balances again. So now we can do this from standing. I was just looking around to see if I've got any trainers, but I haven't. But that's okay. I don't need to show you that. We'll probably do that next week. So one of the good things about being able to balance here is that maybe you have a wall close to you. I'm lucky, right? I've got this wall here. So if you feel like your balance isn't great, which it might not be because you might not have done it for years and years and years. So don't feel like, you know, defeated about or defeatist about it. You can bring just a fingertip maybe onto the wall. Or maybe you come a little closer and you can bring your hand onto the wall. So if you can do that, if you're close to a wall, maybe do it. You might need to adjust yourself, right? So I'm going to bring my left hand or my left fingertip onto the wall. I'm going to bring my right hand onto my right hip. I'm thinking about my left foot. So I want to really kind of like spread out through my my left foot, and you're going to lift up through your right foot, okay? So I can just feel this now. It takes a little bit, right? I can feel it through my finger, believe it or not. So there is some engagement going on. That's helping me balance. I can lift my leg, or maybe I lengthen my leg out. Maybe I bend into my leg, and I'm just kind of playing around a little bit of my balance here. Maybe I bring my foot down. Maybe I bring my foot a little wider. But the wall is providing just that little bit of support. Maybe bring the leg back up. And then I can bring the right leg down. Nice. We'll do it on the other side. Let me do this on my wobbly shelves. I've got some good things, right? So you might need to move. So right fingertip, or you right more than one finger, have the palm of the hand, whatever feels good. Have your feet about hip width apart, root down through the right foot, and then left leg lifts. Okay, so as I do that, what does it feel like? Well, I'll let you know that I can balance a lot easier on my right foot than I can on my left. My left foot, my left ankle, my left lower leg, I have a few problems there. You know, it doesn't feel like there's as much strength, and I've had quite a lot of physio on that part of my body. So this feels already a lot better. I might kind of bring the leg down, might bend a little bit more into the knee, can bring it out wide. It's still a balance, right? Because I'm only kind of holding on with one finger, really light touch. Bring the knee up, and then bring the knee down. And then give the legs a little shake out. So that's kind of, I guess, prep point one. That's a really good place to start. Now, if you feel a little more confident, let's go left leg again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lift up through the right knee. If you can, try and do this without holding on to anything. So a nice place to start is hands on the hips. Now, use this thing called a drishti, which is just a gaze point, okay? And that's going to help you balance. If your eyes are going all over the shop, it's a lot harder to balance. Now, I'm lucky, I can see myself on my screen, so I'm just going to look straight forward. But generally what I would do is I would look about 6 feet in front of me, something like that, okay? So root down through your left foot and then lift up through your right knee, okay? So this is option number one. Now, this takes a little bit more, right? Because using this hip strength as well to lift the knee. You might lift a little higher. And if you wanted to, you can make a basket grip around the right knee and hug the right knee in. Okay, and then just breathe it out. As I say, I've got quite a bit going on in my lower left leg. So it takes me a lot more to engage here. But it feels good, and I'm breathing really deeply. And I know this is building so much wisdom, right? As in balance wisdom into my brain. My brain is kind of learning. Nice. If you wanted to, you can release. You can bring the hands onto the knees. Maybe have a little play around. You know, maybe walk the foot a little wider. Bring the foot back up. Maybe bring the foot behind. Bring the knee back up. Play around with it. Don't feel like you're stuck in one spot. And you might bring the hands into play, right? And kind of wobble around a little and have a little bit of fun. And if you bring your foot down, which you might have done already, that's cool. It's not a problem, right? Just bring it back up and keep playing around. Nice. Bring the right foot down. Give both legs a shake out. And you might be like me. I can really feel that in my lower left leg. Maybe exhale through the mouth. Let it all go. Let's do the other side. So right foot, start with your hands on your hips, and then lift up through the left foot. So this is maybe where you want to stay. It's good, right? Maybe you make a basket grip, you hook the left knee in. So you think about this stuff, right? You can do this any time in the day. Build it into your routine. Do it in the supermarket. Might seem a bit strange, but you'll get really used to it. Maybe bring the hand back onto the hips. Maybe give the leg a little play around. Maybe bring the arms in. I'm just looking at one spot, right? I'm just looking at myself moving, to be fair. But again, what I'd usually do is I'd do this. I'd just look down. I wouldn't look too far ahead, but it's nice to be able to see myself and I can play around. And then hands back on the hips, maybe hug the knee in one final time, and then come back down. And then come into Tadasana, so mountain pose. Bring the palms forward, maybe close the eyes, and just notice what that feels like. Notice what you're noticing. Beautiful. Okay, let's do that one more time, but we'll do it in tree pose. Now, you might be really adept at tree. You might know it very well. You have three options. The first one's here where the both toes are on the floor. That's absolutely cool. The second one is where your foot is on your calf, but not here, not there. Don't want it on your knee, calf. And then if you wanted to, you could bring it up here and it's in your inner thigh. So I'll let you go where you want to go to. I'm going to stay here now because I've got the connection. And then maybe lift the arms, kind of grow your branches and have a little sway from side to side. It's a tree pose. Maybe you go here on the calf. Maybe you go here. Big toe just touches the floor. Take one more round of breath. And then exhale, let it all go. Give it a shake. You'll find these in lots of yoga classes, tree pose. So set it up again, root down through the right foot. That's going to be your supporting leg. Left toes on the floor, calf, or maybe you seal the foot inside. Whoop, his right thigh. Hands are at prayer. This is where you stay, maybe. Remember your gaze point. Just look at one thing. Maybe grow your branches. Have a little sway around, side to side. Tree pose, right? If you fall out, please just join us. Come straight back in. Nice. Take one more round of breath. And then exhale, bring everything down. Give the legs a little shake out. All right, enough balancing, right? We've done kind of 2.5 balances there. One thing that I didn't do, and we'll probably do it another time, is the next level is when you get quite adept at that and you're thinking, well, do you know what? My balance is getting so much better. Then we start to close our eyes. That is completely different, but that's what really gets the brain working. And that will really help us with our overall balance as we all age together, right? So we close our eyes and you can do that again. What I do in the mornings is I will stand on one leg, I'll put my shoes on and I'll tie my shoes, usually a pair of trainers. And then once I've done that, I'll stand on my leg for about 20 seconds. Then I'll shut my eyes. And I've only just started doing it the last couple of weeks and it's really hard and I'm not very good at it. But I am getting better and my brain is learning. So it's amazing how quickly the brain catches up. So I'd encourage you to do all these things with me. It's going to help us, believe me. It's going to help us. And the other thing about what they say in the book is they talk about bone density. And bone density is kind of like building strength, right? So cardiovascular exercise, as we know, is very good for us and we need it. And we can get that from loads of different sources, walking, running, gardening, whatever it may be, right? Tai Chi, boxercise, whatever classes you do. But also to bring some resistance in the body is very important. And the great news is you get it all from yoga because you're using your body weight to bring that resistance in. So yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, all of these beautiful practices, they are fantastic. As we kind of get older, we can still keep doing these things. All right, let's do a little bit of flow and then we will come onto our backs. We've got about 10 minutes left. So we've got about 5 minutes of movement, 5 minutes of stillness. There's quite a lot of which we've fitted in today. It's a slightly different style of class today. So let's bring our hands to our heart center. Maybe close your eyes. Again, with the eyes closed, you might feel yourself sway around a little. And again, this is a balance in itself. Even though we've got both feet on the floor, we're still balancing. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. And then exhale, hinge and fold and come all the way in. So our first forward fold of the class. What I'd like us all to do is just come up to a halfway lift. So you bring the hands right up onto your thighs. You can have a bend in the knees, roll the shoulders back, and then take a few breaths here. So nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. Nice deep inhale and a full exhale. Bring the hands down. See if you can step back into a plank. One foot, then the other. And then take an inhale in your plank. Nice. So you press into the outer edges of the feet. As you exhale, drop your knees down. And then see if you can lower to the floor really slowly. So again, all that idea of building strength, bone density. This is the way we do it. By moving with consideration. Inhale into cobra. And then exhale into your first downward facing dog. We can take 3 breaths here. Maybe a generous bend in the knees so you can find length in your spine. And then when you're ready, you're going to bend your knees, hinge your hips, look between your hands, and then gently see if you can land your feet in as many steps as is possible, or is reasonable, to the top of your mat. Look at your feet, line up the long edges of your mat, take an inhale back to that half forward fold. And then exhale, hinge at the hips. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. Nice. Let's keep moving. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. And then we'll just step the right knee back. So you're going to come into a low lunge. So if you need to pad that knee out, this is the time to do it. Take an inhale and then sweep the arms up into your low lunge. Nice. Breathe it out here. All right, we're going to do a little twisted reverse warrior from here. So bring your right hand down onto your left thigh and then lift up through your left arm. And then you're just going to look down that right shoulder. Inhaling, exhaling. So just a little twist. Nice. Inhale the arms all the way back up. And then as you exhale, just swap it out. So right arm's lifted, left arm's back. The left arm is on the right thigh. Breathe in deeply. Inhale, left arm to meet it. Exhale, hands down. And then you're just going to step the right foot up to meet the left. Do that nice and gently. Inhale to that halfway lift. And then exhale to hinge and fold. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Lovely. Other side. Keep moving. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down. Left leg back. Drop the left knee down. Inhale into your low lunge. Nice. Bring the right hand down. Left arm up. And then just twisting. Little reverse. So it's this right hand on the back of the left thigh. Left arm lifted. Inhale all the way up. Right arm lifted. Left hand, maybe you just thread round onto that right glute and then look down the left shoulder. So a little twist to the other side. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, hands down. And then from here, see if you can step straight back to a downward facing dog. Breathe it out in your down dog. Deep inhales. Full exhales. One more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. From here, soften your knees down onto your mat and come into your third child's pose. Nice and gently lay yourself down. Maybe your deepest breaths of the class so far. And kind of let all of the work you've done go, all of the balancing that we've done. We'll piece it together with some flow. Take a couple more rounds of breath. And then from here, walk your hands back towards your knees again. Press into your hands. Bring yourself all the way back up. Fantastic work. And then we're going to flip over, come onto our backs. And when you're down on your back, you might just want to hug your knees in towards your belly. Hug your knees in. Feels good, right? Rock out on your spine. First time we've been lying down in the class, so this might feel really nice. And then from here, Bring the left foot down, cross the right foot over the left thigh. Just do a little hip opener, stretch into the glutes. Maybe just press that right knee away with the right hand, or thread through the gap and go around the back of the left thigh. Make a basket grip and just take a few breaths here, relaxing the shoulders down into the earth. A couple more rounds of breath on this side. And then when you're ready, just slowly unravel. Come to the other side, bring the right foot down, cross the left thigh, the left foot over the right thigh. So left foot over the right thigh. First option is you just press in the left knee away. The next option is you can thread through the gap and just make that basket grip. When you arrive, take 2 or 3 rounds of breath. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Back of the neck remains long. When you're ready, slowly bring that right foot down, unravel the left foot. One final hug of the knees in towards the belly. And then find yourself in Shavasana. So either you keep the soles of the feet on the floor, or you can go long with the legs like I've just done and let the feet fall open. And then just fall into a Shavasana just for a couple of minutes. You join me here just to seal your practice. And this is your opportunity just to let everything integrate. Let the body, the mind, let everything catch up. We kind of work the brain quite hard today by putting all those balances into the practice. Let it all go now, nothing to worry about. And then from this still point in Shavasana, bring some tiny little movements into your body, maybe your fingers and your toes. Ankles and wrists begin to move, and then feel free to make the movements a little bigger. You can stretch everything out, bend the knees in, whatever works for you. And then just roll over to one side. You might take a breath or two, just with the head resting in the bottom hand. And then eventually press yourself all the way back up and come back to a reasonable seated position that feels right for you. maybe where we started with the legs crossed. Your choice. Nice work, everyone. And then bringing your hands to your heart center. Thank yourself for showing up. If you watched it live or you're watching on catch up, thank you for joining. And then just with a wholehearted bow, wish yourself well, wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming today. Remember the survey. The links are there. If you want to know more about us, spacetobriefcollective.co.uk. We're a not-for-profit cooperative wellness centre in the heart of Leicester. So if you're ever in Leicester, you're more than welcome to come and see us. We've got lots of classes and lots of activities going on. So yeah, check it out. Remember, Virtual Village Hall, TikTok, Instagram. Give them a follow because they've got really amazing accounts. And on there, they're amazing because the content's really good. So yeah, check in there as well. But otherwise, enjoy this fine weather that we've got today. I think it's lasting a few days. And I'll see you next week for more of this. And it'll be class number 196. Is it? Something like that. Oh, and by the way, hello to Jackie. Hello to Irene. And hello to Victor as well from the High Peak. I'm there next week. I'm going to the High Peak next week. And Jackie's back. So thank you, Jackie, for coming back. All right, guys. See you later. I nearly missed your comments. Bye.